Hello guys, welcome back to Technical Alphas. Today I'm going to be handling how we can send images into the database and retrieving them back from the database to our web page. So please watch the video to the end and don't forget to subscribe. The channel name is Technical Alphas. Every subscription and every like is a prayer to the Alphas technological channel. So let's get started. Our first and foremost step will be creating our folder into our localhost. So I'm going to be using XAMPP, so I'll go to my local disk C where I saved XAMPP, come to XAMPP folder, htdocs. Now this is where I'm going to create my folder in which all my files are going to be kept. So I'll come and create my new folder. In this case I'm going to call it, let me see, project. Let me call this project. So this is where I'm going to be keeping all my files. Now within project I'm going to create another folder, and this folder will be images. Now every image you send to the database will also be called back and will appear in this folder called images. So let me create this folder very fast, images. So this is where all my images will be kept in my project. So it's empty and the folder is also empty. So let's go back to our text editor. Now in this case I have to open up the folder that I'm using. Come to file, open folder, XAMPP. No, my folder is project, so I have to select project. Now I've selected my folder project and has a small folder called images. So let me create a new file. Now this file is going to be index.php. So this is where I'm going to be keeping all my code. Now the first thing we are going to create is a form that is going to be sending the image into the database. So let's create our HTML form. Now what you have to know is that the very way you send images, the very way you send text, the very way you send videos, it's all going to be using forms, but the difference is that input type that you'll be using. For my it will all be used in forms. Now the action is going to be empty. I'll use method post. My method will be post. And this should be it. So I'll put a header, let me say heading 1. This will be upload image. Now I have to upload the image from my computer, so I'll put an input type, and this input type will be file, and I'll give it a name, and the name will be image. So I also need a button that will help me. So let me bring some break tags. So I need a button. This button is the one that's going to be sending the data into the database. For this case, you can give it any name you want, but remember the name when you're sending the data into the database. But I still want to use the very name, submit. So my value will be upload. So this should be it. Let me run this and see. So I'll call for localhost, my folder project slash my folder project. Yes, this should be it. So let me go back and save my work. this should be it. So now this is my work. It's saying upload image here, and it's also requesting me to get stuff. So I can browse my computer and I can look for any image I want, then I can upload it. For example, this, I press open, the name of the image is here, but when I upload, it's going nowhere. So I need a database in which I'm going to be doing what? Sending my images. So let me come here, create a database very fast. My database name will be project, the same as our folder. Project, create this. So I'll create a table, I'll name it image. This will have 2 fields. Then this should do it. So the first field will be ID, which is an integer, and the second field will be image. Let me give this a variable character. So I give this something like 50, and I should make the ID the primary key. So let me make the ID the primary key. Come here, make the ID the primary key, and auto increment. So if you're done with this, you save your work. So my table is called image, and it has 2 fields, ID and image, and ID is the primary key. So let me come back to my code. Now right now I have to send this data into the database. So let me call for my PHP code. Here I have to open up my PHP. So the first thing I have to do is connect to the database. Let me comment this. Connect to the database. So I'll call for my variable connect, create my variable connect, and I say mysql underscore connect. So here I have to pass my parameters. My server will be localhost, comma, my user will be root, comma, my password will be empty, and my database is project. The database I've just created right now is project. So I've connected to the database and all is set right now. So the next step I have to do is, if the button is pressed, submit is pressed, something should happen after the button has been pressed. So I have to call for an if statement, is set variable post. So after my super global variable post, then I have to pass the name of the button. So if the button with the name submit is pressed, something should happen. I hope you understand all this. Now the first thing we have to do, we need a target that when we send our image into the database, it also has to have a target that will bring it back to the folder. So target path, we have to get our target path. Oh, so this has to be a comment. Target path. It's good to comment your code. That makes you a very good programmer, and you can easily come back and understand your code easily. So please try as hard as you can to comment your code. It's good for you as a programmer. So let's get our target path. Our target path, let me call for a variable target. This should be equal to images folder slash, so base name. Have to open up, then I open for super global variable files, and files has two parameters. This will be the image itself and then the name. The name of the image. So this should be it. So now we've got our target, our variable target. We've given it its values. So the next thing we have to do is get data from the form. Let us get our data of the image from the form. Get data from the form. From the form, yes, this should be it. So now we call for our variable. You can name it anything. I'm going to call it image because we're getting the data of the image. Now image is going to be a file, so we're going to use files. Sorry. So here we are going to get the image itself, and you're going to get its name too. So for this case you're also going to do the name, and we terminate. So now we insert this into the database, into our table in our database. So let me call for this variable. I can call it insert. This is equal to, open up some quotes, terminate, come back inside and say insert into our table, which is image, in the place of image, because our table has two places, ID and image. In our table called image, it has ID and image, but we only want to insert into the place of image the value of image. So we said values, then here we pass the variable image. So every here the value, the variable image. So now we have to execute this. So we call for our variable query, our variable query. This will be my SQLi underscore query. This will be, so now we pass two parameters. The first, which is the connection variable, and second the insert variable. So at first I put my connection variable, put a comma, then I put the variable for insert. So this should be it. But before we go any further, after executing this query, so we have to move, let me comment this, move our image into the folder we created, which is images, the folder images, which is in our projects folder. This folder image here is the one we are talking about, which is empty. So we are moving our image that has been sent to the database. We want a copy in our folder images in order for us to confirm that it has been sent successfully. So here say move uploaded file, the file which has been uploaded, we want it to be moved. So here we come, you can copy all this, copy all this and paste it here. Now the name, this time we want the temporary name, and after this remove the termination. Then we pass our variable target. Pass our variable target here, making the second parameter. So if this is successful, it should tell us something. So echo what should it echo? Image uploaded successfully. Image uploaded successfully. Or if it fails, something should also happen. So here we'll say else. Also open up, echo image not uploaded, or anything of your own choice. So say image not uploaded. So if we run this, so now this should do it. Come back and refresh our page. So browse, come look for an image. For example, I'll upload this. Open. If I press upload, it will tell me image uploaded successfully. So come back to my database, which is project. Then I go into image. You see that now I have two images in my project. So I've uploaded my image twice. If I come back here and then I browse and upload another image, let me upload this. Then I press upload again. It tells me image uploaded successfully. So when I check and I refresh this side in my database, you see now I have 3 images. So bring back our image to what? To our web page. So come down here after the form, because it's where I want to print our image, to retrieve it back from our database. So let us open up our PHP. So like this. So now let us create our variable select, because we are selecting back from the database. So let me create my variable select. Now select is equal to, open quotes, terminate before, come back, and then I say select everything, which is all from my table name, which is image. So after selecting everything, I have to run this query. I have to execute it. So I have to create another variable. I can call this QRY, which is short form for query, and then say my SQLi query. Then this query should connect to the database and then select. So my variable for connecting to the database is variable connect, comma, then variable select. So this should do it. Then I have to bring a while loop, because I have to loop them back. While loop. Then now in this while loop I'll open up a new variable. I can call this row. Let me call this row. This is equal to my SQLi underscore fetch underscore array. Now which array are we fetching? The array we are fetching is the array query. So it's QRY. It's the one we are fetching. Now if everything goes well, we want it to echo the image it has fetched. So echo, come back here. Now to echo an image, we have to invoke the image tag. Image source equals space equals, then let me open some single quotes. Inside my folder images, by the way, let me first show you that our images have gone to our folder. So let me come here, look for my folder, local disk C, XAMPP, htdocs, then project, into images. You see both our images have every image that goes to the database will come and will be shown here. So if we come back to our browser and let us try to upload another image. So let me come, get here a photo, and I upload this photo. If it's uploaded successfully as it is here, and we check in the database and we see, refresh here, there are now 4 photos. So if I go back to my folder, it is also here. So every photo you upload in the database, it is also sent to this folder. So that's how the image stuff works. So let's come back to our code. We are echoing everything back from the database. So here we have to open up some brackets, then some dots, then we get our variable row here. We get our variable row, then open up some braces, then our image attribute, our image column is the one we are echoing from the database. So here, after all these, here we can close. Now let us give it a width, something like 300 pixels. And a height of something like 400 pixels. So if we save this and come back to our page and then refresh, you see that all the images that are in the database have been brought back. So this is how you can select your images back from the database, and you can do more stuff with these images. These are just the basics. So please, thank you for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel Technical Alphas, and hope to see you in the next videos. I'll be dealing with more stuff, video stuff, and please subscribe.